Joining me now, the American Center for Law and Justice is Jordan Seculo. Good to see you, Jordan.
Good to see you, Liz.
Can you help us break this down? How could these charges rise to the level of criminality? What's a probative implication here?
Well, we've talked a lot about the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton's time at the State Department and quid pro quo, something for something. And if you're a government official or you're married to a government official and you're in that kind of situation, it goes from quid pro quo to bribery, which is a crime then under the racketeering statutes. That's what I think Professor Turley was talking about, how the $500,000 for one single speech, which was double the normal speaking fee for former President Bill Clinton, tied to the same timing as this uranium deal in the United States, which his wife sat on the board, the Committee for Foreign Investment in the U.S., the CFIUS, as everybody's been calling it now. And so it's all the timing. It's why the investigation matters. It's why this confidential informant being able to speak to these committee chairs is very important, because that's the beginning of a real investigation, which could lead, won't necessarily lead, but could lead to criminal charges. That's on the uranium matter. Now, on the matter involving the dossier, the lawyer for the Clinton campaign who failed to acknowledge that he paid for this first, and then by doing that also failed to report it in the FEC. He listed it as just like normal fees and didn't say what it was. Well, under U.S. election law, your campaign funds, when you use them for campaign activities that are specific, like research on an opponent, you have to at least list that down. And if you don't, if you fail to do that, it is actually a federal crime. It is not just a civil matter. It's a federal crime.
We're going to be staying on this story. Jordan, now we want to ask you about the Trump administration agreeing to pay between $1 million and $10 million to settle lawsuits against the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, for targeting Tea Party nonprofit groups during the Obama administration, saying, quote, the IRS admits that its treatment was wrong. Now, these conservative groups claim the IRS engaged in discriminatory behavior. Jordan, you represented 428 Tea Party groups in a class action lawsuit. What do you think about the verdict?
No, we represented 41 groups, Liz, in the civil action. The class action. We had some of our groups, Liz, were part of the class action as well. Our case focused on. We also settled today with the government. The judge has signed off on that. Attorney General Sessions has said this was an abuse of power. All of our clients came to an agreement. This was never about, the money, because these were small groups. So when this is all that money is dispersed amongst the hundreds of groups, it's a few thousands of dollars here and there to cover some costs. What this was really about, why we filed these lawsuits, and these were brave clients to take on the IRS, and I'm glad that we could stand with them in court nearly 4 years fighting the IRS so that this never happens again to anyone else, Liz. That was their goal, to make sure the IRS never engages in this kind of political viewpoint targeting ever again.
Jordan Seculo, we love having you on. Come back soon.